On this week's edition of Inside Oswego Speedway, the Shea Concrete Steel Palace ISMA Super Series makes their first of 4 trips to Oswego Speedway, featuring the return of Chris Purley. Could the Rowley Rocket make his way back to Oswego Speedway victory lane? Plus, the Pathfinder Bank SBS Series kicks off their road to the championship. Rookies, and more rookies, plus the return of a seasoned veteran. This and more next on Inside Oswego Speedway. Hello everyone and welcome to Inside Oswego Speedway. I'm Danny Kapusinski, and all of us here at the Steel Palace are proud and excited to bring you more weekly highlights and footage from all of the racing each and every weekend from here at the Big O. Of course, last Saturday night we got things kicked off with the Shea Concrete Steel Palace ISMA Super Series, as well as the opening round of the Pathfinder Bank SBS Road to the Championship. And on opening night, time trials would start the qualifying procedure for both the ISMA Super Modifieds and the Pathfinder Bank SBS machines. And for the very first time, qualifying points were awarded to the small block Super Modified division. 8 points would go to the fastest qualifier, with 1 point being awarded to the driver that timed in 8th fastest. And just like a year ago, it was Mike Bond in the 4.7s Motorsports car number 74 setting fast time in the Pathfinder Bank SBS Series with a lap of 19.15 seconds.
The lap is pretty good. I guess I'm getting a little better at time trialing. I usually stunk at it. We'll take it and see what happens tonight. No, we won't make any changes probably for the heat. Well, it depends on when we go out. Hopefully the sun will still be out. We'll probably change it for the feature. I'd just like to thank all my guys for all their hard work to get us here, and Denise Merrill for giving me this car, and all the sponsors, Mays and Premier Landscaping.
Taking a look now at the top 8 fastest time trialers in the SBS division, of course, Bond on top with that 19.158 second lap. He was just barely ahead of your defending series champion Craig Harrith, coming in with a lap of 19.297. Returning veteran Russ Brown was 3rd fastest, ahead of teammates Jason Simmons and J.J. Andrews in the top 5. Cameron Rowe, John Tesserario, and Andrew Shartner would round out the top 8 fastest qualifiers. ISMA time trials would see a new winged super modified track record as Liquid Lou Ciccone cut a lap of 15.164 seconds behind the wheel of his brand new ride for this coming season, the Vic Miller Shea Concrete car number 71.
Well, I just kept making laps, and now the car was really effortless to drive, and it was basically felt like I never had to back out of the throttle. You know, I got hired by Vic Miller to be Chris's teammate, and it's an honor to be on this team because this is what I consider the best super modified team to race for in the United States. And you know, them guys plugged me in. In reality, Chris did all the work, and I just got the opportunity to sit in the machine that he prepared for me. And that, you know, I mean, all he did was wheel the thing. He had years of R&D, and the crew had years of, working on the car and stuff like that. So, I mean, I just got lucky and was able to drive the car.
Purley, driving the brand new Vic Miller car number 11, would have to settle for 2nd fastest time in ISMA qualifications with a lap of 15.232 seconds, just 1 spot ahead of defending ISMA champion Mike Lichty, who set a lap of 15.277. John McKennedy and Mark Samet would round out the top 5, just ahead of Eddie Whitcomb Jr., Ray Graham Jr. in the Clyde Booth car number 61, and Danny Connors driving the same number 01 Super Modified you can see in non-wing competition this Saturday at Oswego Speedway. Heat racing action would be the next order of business for the SBS division, and the racing would not go off without just a touch of controversy, as Mike Bond and Jack Patrick would come together battling for the race lead in their qualifying heat race. Each car would be able to continue on. They both did go on to finish their qualifying heat. Mike would make it into a handicap position, while Jack would have to start from the tail of the field in the feature go. ISMA Super Modified qualifying heat races would follow next as Timmy J and Eddie Whitcomb do battle. But before we bring you the highlights of the feature action last Saturday, we first would like to take the time to remember and celebrate a true gentleman and competitor at Oswego Speedway, Irish Jack Murphy. Oswego Speedway's staple event has long been the International Classic, and Thursday, May 2nd, the racing community lost its first Classic champion, Irish Jack Murphy. Murphy was a Navy veteran, retired from Local 545 as a heavy equipment operator and master mechanic, and was a member of the Pathfinder Rod and Gun Club, past president and official of the International Super Modified Association, an avid hunter and trap shooter, and of course, was known across the racing land as the pilot of the heralded Shamrock 6, and he quickly became a popular competitor of the 50s stock car era of racing across New York State, and especially Oswego Speedway. Murphy won the 1952 Oswego Speedway Track Championship, the 1958 B-Class Oswego Championship, and was the winner of the inaugural International Classic at Oswego in 1957. Murphy would go down in history as the only driver to win features in 2 different divisions in a single night of racing at Oswego Speedway. Overall, Murphy amassed a total of 26 feature victories at Oswego between the dirt and asphalt of the smaller speedway, as well as on the larger fast 5/8 mile. While Murphy was a top-ranked competitor at Oswego Speedway, he also had many accolades at other area speedways, including being a winner of the New York State Labor Day race at the fairgrounds 3 times and setting the world's record for the fastest time in Trenton, New Jersey. While Murphy sat behind the wheel for more than 20 years, his involvement in auto racing, and in particular super modified racing, would span over 50 years as a fuel provider and ISMA super modified official. Irish Jack Murphy was 85 years old. New York State's fastest action is back for the month of May. Opening week at Oswego Speedway, Saturday, May 11th. The road to the championship is on for the Novellas Super Modified Series, presented by Mitchell Speedway Press and CJ Ferlito Aggregate. Watch the Speedway's best try to dethrone Otto Sitterling. Plus, don't miss round 2 of the Pathfinder Bank SBS Road to the Championship. For more information, visit online at OswegoSpeedway.com. Mitchell Speedway Press and CJ Ferlito Aggregates presents the Novellas Super Modified Kickoff. Kids 16 and under, free. Inside Oswego Speedway is brought to you by Novellas. Not just aluminum, Novellas aluminum. Pathfinder Bank, local community trust. Eagle Beverage, we bring the beer to you. Oswego Bike Fest, riding, rocking, and racing Oswego Speedway. And by Best Western Plus Quality Inn and Suites of Oswego. Saturday night's first main event would be the Gator Racing News North Country Home Builders 35-lap main event for the Pathfinder Bank SBS Series, and starting up there on row number 1, the Deuce of Rob Pullen and the 01 of Dalton Doyle, AJ Burness, and Andrew Shartner there in row number 2. And on the initial start, Pullen would jump out into the early race lead, but behind him the caution would wave for one of the many rookies in the field, the 76 of Scott Schaefer, as he would get sideways and tag the foam going into corner number 1. On the original restart this time, it would be the 01 of Dalton Doyle jumping out into the race lead. Doyle, who ran good many times last year in 2012, starting off to a quick start. Here in 2013, he jumps into the race lead. 9 laps later, though, Pullen begins to apply the pressure in the Pullen's Plumbing car number 2 as he finds the low side out of corner number 4 coming down the front straightaway, and Pullen would take the race lead into corner number 1. And he would pull A.J. Burness with him in car number 24. Doyle, unfortunately, in the 01 machine, would get hung to the outside of the speedway, and before long, the Doyle number 01 would slip from the race lead all the way back to about 10th position as Russ Brown and Cameron Rowe make their way underneath as well, going into corner number 1. As the race would progress, Pullen and Burness would be the class of the field as they started to make some distance between themselves and third place running John Tesserario in car number 47. And that was until the yellow lights came on for a slowing Jason Simmons in the Nice Price Auto Sales car number 98. Simmons would head pit side and would be done for the day. On the restart, the 24 of Burness really came alive as he looks to the inside of Rob Pullen coming out of corner number 2 and down the back straightaway. Pullen would slam the door shut, leaving Burness in second for the time being. However, later on, lap number 29 in lap traffic, Pullen slips up going into corner number 1, trying to make his way by the 44 of Zach Amo, and that leaves the low lane open for Burness to take the race lead, looking for his second career Pathfinder Bank SBS Series main event. But with just 3 laps remaining, Tim Guru in the TNT Motorsports number 17 would find the foam in corner number 1. That would slow the field down, forcing Burness to have to try and edge the field out on a restart, and he would be able to do so as Russ Brown in car number 13 looks to try to make his way around Pullen to the outside for that runner-up position, but he was unable to do so, had to tuck it back in to position number 3 ahead of Tesserario in the 47, and Andrew Schartner now up there into the top 5. But with the white flag in the air, this one would go to the 24, the Burn Dairy number 24 of A.J. Burness. His second career Pathfinder Bank SBS main event win comes over Rob Pullen, Russ Brown, Tesserario, and Schartner in the top 5 positions as Burness pulls down into Turning Stone Resort and Casino victory lane for the second time in his young racing career.
His second small block super modified feature win.
We were fighting the car all day long, just little problems with handling and such, and came down to the end there, and we always seem to get yellows when it's time for us to win. Well, I was having a hard time getting around him, and then he tried to go high around a lap car, and the lap car ended up going high, and it was the only chance I had, so I had to bury that thing in there and hope it stick.
Not too good. Yeah, some lap traffic got me messed up there, and he was on top of his game tonight. AJ did a great job. I congratulate him on his win. He beat me fair and square. Yeah, I could feel he got into me a couple times. I know I might have messed up a few times in the corners, and that's when he caught up to me, and it was nothing, no big deal.
Well, it was all right. It's a tough class. Now that they've speeded everybody up a little bit, it's even tougher than it was last year. So, yeah, it should be an exciting year for everybody. Everybody's, they haven't had a lot of track time and stuff. I mean, some of the stuff just happens, we got a good bunch of guys, so, that's all you can say. And I just want to thank my crew. They've been busting their butts on the car, and we got a couple new sponsors on board. CNY Sports, FX Cabrera, Reed Benoit, Carpenter Stooley's. We got to thank all of them, otherwise we wouldn't be here.
In 2013, a host of contingency sponsors have come on board for the Pathfinder Bank SBS Series. Jack Patrick would head home with the DNS Landscaping Hard Charger Award after he came through the field for a 9th place finish. The Nice Price Auto Sales Up-and-Comer Award winner was the number 47 of John Tesserario with his first career SBS Top 5 finish. He would also take home the White's Car Care 4th Place Award. And new this season, the Sherwood Racing Wheels Lap Leader Award went to the deuce of Rob Pullen on Saturday night as he would lead the most laps in the 35-lap main event. Looking now at the overall series standings after just one event, A.J. Burness, of course, up there with the lead. He has a 1-point edge on Pullen in the deuce. Russ Brown sits in third ahead of John Tesserario and Andrew Schartner in the top 5. Mike Bond, J.J. Andrews, your defending champion Craig Harrith, Jack Patrick, and Cameron Rowe are the top 10. The SBS Series, of course, will be back in action next Saturday night for Mitchell's Speedway Press CJ Ferlito Aggregates Night at Oswego Speedway. Congratulations again to your winner on Saturday, AJ Burness, his second career Pathfinder Bank SBS Series main event win. We'll be back right after this with highlights of your ISMA 56 lap feature go. Inside Oswego Speedway is brought to you by Novelis, not just aluminum, Novelis aluminum. Pathfinder Bank, local community trust. Eagle Beverage, we bring the beer to you. Oswego Bike Fest, riding, rocking, and racing Oswego Speedway. And by Best Western Plus Quality Inn and Suites of Oswego. New York State's fastest action is back for the month of May. Opening week at Oswego Speedway. Saturday, May 11th. The road to the championship is on for the Novelis Super Modified Series. Presented by Mitchell Speedway Press and CJ Ferlito Aggregates. Watch the Speedway's best try to dethrone Otto Sitterly. Plus, don't miss round 2 of the Pathfinder Bank SBS Road to the Championship. For more information, visit online at OswegoSpeedway.com. Mitchell Speedway Press and CJ Ferlito Aggregates presents the Novelis Super Modified Kickoff. Kids 16 and under, free. Saturday's first round of the Shea Concrete Steel Palace ISMA Super Series would of course be run in honor of the Irishman Jack Murphy, who passed away on Thursday, May 2nd. And in Jack's honor, the race would be increased to 56 laps. And Jim Henry of Oswego also would bring this replica Jack Murphy modified to the Speedway, which would be paced through the field before the start of the main event. The Gator Racing News North Country Home Builders Jack Murphy 56 would take the green flag, with Ray Graham in Clyde Booth's number 61 and Canadian Mark Samet up there in row number 1. And Samet in the 78 would jump out into the early race lead, pulling away in this one. But the show would be further on back in the field as the number 11 of Chris Purley began to show off that patented outside lane, making his way around the 65 of Tim Ice, next setting up the 32 of Timmy Jedrzejek down the back straightaway. And just like that, into corner number 4, makes his way around the outside of the 97 of Danny Lane. 3 cars in 1 lap for the 11 of Chris Purley. Just 2 laps later, he would reel in the 61 of Ray Graham, again moving up to the outside of the racetrack. Coming out of corner number 4, Purley would now be up into the runner-up position, and it wouldn't take long for him next to chase down your race leader, Mark Samet, in the 78, but this time, Purley would change it up just a little bit. He would make the pass in corner number 3, but this time to the inside instead of the outside, using the number 96 of Louis LeVay Sr. as a pick going into corner number 3. From there, Purley would begin to check out from the rest of the field here in this 56-lap main event. His teammate Lou Ciccone would be the next driver on the move, working on Timmy Jedrzejek. That was until caution hit the speedway for a spinning Tim Ice down the back straightaway as the left rear wheel comes loose on the ice machine. Under this caution, Timmy J in the 32 would be black flag as he had developed some damage to the right front wing on that machine. He would head pit side, get that repair made, and head back out onto the speedway. On the restart, Ciccone would slip a little bit high, trying to get by the 61 of Mike Ordway. That would allow the 84 of Mike Lichty to the low side as he would sling past Ciccone and Ordway to move up into position number 3. Ciccone, though, in the 71 would quickly sling past Graham in the 61 and then begin to chase down the 84 one more time, coming out of corner number 4 as they work to the high side of the lap machine of Dave McKnight, driving Gary Morton's car number 70. And just a few laps later, Ciccone, just like Purley, would find the high side out of corner number 4. He makes his way past Lichty and now moves into the 3rd position. And just a few laps after that, he would again find the high side on a late race restart, moving around Samet to move into the runner-up spot. It looked as though for a few minutes he may be able to chase down Purley for the race lead, but on the race's last lap, you could see Purley had extended that lead very nicely, working through lap traffic, coming out of corner number 4 to pick up his 8th career super modified win at Oswego Speedway over Saccone, Samet, Graham, and Bobby Dawson in the top 5. Timmy J and John McKennedy would finish 6th and 7th as Chris Purley returns to Oswego Speedway victory lane.
I'm liking it better and better. We took a long time building it, and after the heat I was happy, but I thought it was a little too good after the heat. I took off early, I got loose, I slowed up in a little, and I watched the 71 creeping along. Here comes Louie, and I was hoping Mark Samet would hold him back a little longer, but he didn't. But I put on a good show. Really want to thank the Teresi brothers for inviting us here. I love coming here. I love racing Oswego. I missed the place last year, and kind of glad to be back. I just want to I want to dedicate this race. I'm sure everybody does, to Jack Murphy. Just such a part of ISMA over all these years. I mean, since I was a pup, he's been running around here, and you could never make him quit. So dedicated, and you know, him and Dolores, they're just such a part. Really gonna miss him. I've spent a lot of time talking with him over the years, and I don't think there's anybody in this place that can say something bad about him.
I mean, it's like a Cadillac. I mean, you know, anybody could have drove that car tonight and did that good. The car's an awesome race car. I just have to learn how to be like Chris and get to the front earlier, and that'll help me out some.
Well, I guess it was the fastest car that wasn't black anyway, so it's but no, the car ran real good. Like I said, I don't know what we got to do to get a little more speed run with those cars, but you got to hand it to them. I mean, those things are both rocket ships, and they got 2 of the best drivers. And so to finish 3rd behind them guys, we'll take that anytime.
And of course, the Shea Concrete Steel Palace Super Series will return to Oswego Speedway Saturday, June 8th for round number 2. We thank you all for tuning in to this week's edition of Inside Oswego Speedway. New York State's fastest action is back for the month of May. Opening week at Oswego Speedway. Saturday, May 11th. The road to the championship is on for the Novellas Super Modified Series. Presented by Mitchell Speedway Press and CJ Ferlito Aggregates. Watch the Speedway's best try to dethrone Otto Sitterly. Plus, don't miss round 2 of the Pathfinder Bank SBS Road to the Championship. For more information, visit online at OswegoSpeedway.com. Mitchell Speedway Press and CJ Ferlito Aggregates presents the Novellas Super Modified Kickoff. Kids 16 and under, free. Inside Oswego Speedway is brought to you by Novellas. Not just aluminum, Novellas aluminum. Pathfinder Bank. Local community trust. Eagle Beverage. We bring the beer to you. Oswego Bike Fest. Riding, rocking, and racing Oswego Speedway. And by Best Western Plus Quality Inn and Suites of Oswego.